Musa had driven his taxi through the bustling city streets for 7 years. Each ride brought a new face, a new story, yet he never imagined that one passenger would rewrite his own life forever. It began on an unusually quiet evening. The streetlights flickered as rain painted the city in shimmering streaks. Musa leaned back in his seat at the taxi rank, idly listening to a soccer commentary on the radio when the passenger slid into the back seat. "Drive," she said, her voice calm but urgent. Her face was partially obscured by a scarf, but her eyes darted to the side mirror, scanning for something or someone. "To where?" Musa asked, wary. "Just drive," she snapped, clutching a battered leather diary against her chest. Musa hesitated but started the engine. The streets blurred into a maze of neon signs and speeding headlights as the woman's instructions came in clipped sentences. "Left. Straight. Now right." It wasn't until they hit the quieter outskirts of the city that she finally spoke. "I need your help," she said. Musa glanced at her in the mirror. "I'm just a driver, lady. Whatever you're running from, it's not my business." "It is now," she replied, her tone softening. "This diary, it holds the truth about them." "Them?" "The ones who pull the strings in this city," she said. "Politicians, business tycoons, criminals hiding in plain sight. This is evidence, embezzlement, bribery, even murders covered up. They'll kill me to stop it from getting out." Musa's grip tightened on the wheel. He wasn't sure what terrified him more, her words or the growing sound of engines behind them. Headlights flooded the rearview mirror. A black SUV loomed, its windows dark as sin. "They found us," the woman said, her voice low. "What do I do?" Musa asked, panic rising. "Lose them." Musa's instincts kicked in. He swerved down narrow alleys, his tires screeching against wet asphalt. The SUV followed, relentless and unyielding. "Faster," the woman shouted as they narrowly avoided a fruit vendor's cart. Finally, Musa spotted an overpass. Without thinking, he cut the wheel hard, veering onto a side street that plunged them into darkness. He killed the engine and lights, their breaths mingling in the silence as the SUV roared past, oblivious. "You're good," the woman said, exhaling shakily. Musa shook his head. "I don't want any part of this. Whatever you're involved in, leave me out of it." "I can't," she replied. "You're my only chance now." She handed him the diary, her fingers trembling. "Take this to the press. Don't stop. Don't trust anyone." "What about you?" She looked at him, her expression unreadable. "I'll distract them. You just go." Before Musa could protest, she stepped out of the car and disappeared into the night. The drive to the media house felt endless. The city that Musa knew so well seemed foreign, every shadow a threat, every light a beacon for danger. At one point, he stopped at a red light, only for the black SUV to appear again in his rearview mirror. Heart pounding, Musa yanked the wheel to the left, ignoring the blaring horns of angry drivers. He took a series of random turns until he reached a rundown parking lot. There, under the dim glow of a flickering street lamp, he checked the diary. The pages were filled with typed documents, of handwritten notes, then photographs. One image made him freeze, a prominent politician shaking hands with a non-crime boss. "That's the mayor," Musa whispered to himself. He slammed the diary shut and restarted the engine. The newsroom was quiet when Musa arrived, its staff skeleton thin after hours. A security guard at the front desk eyed him suspiciously. "I have something for your journalists," Musa said, clutching the diary like a lifeline. The guard raised an eyebrow but called a reporter from the back office. A lanky man with glasses approached, irritation written on his face. "Who are you?" "I'm no one," Musa replied. "But this will change everything." The reporter flipped through the diary, his expression shifting from annoyance to disbelief. "Where did you get this?" "Just make sure the truth comes out," Musa said, his voice steady despite his shaking hands. The reporter nodded, already dialing a number. As Musa left the newsroom, the night felt heavier. He was halfway back to his apartment when his phone buzzed. An unknown number. "Hello," he answered, cautiously. "You should have stayed out of it," the gravelly voice replied. The line went dead. Musa pulled over, his breath shallow. His world felt smaller now, the shadows deeper. He didn't know who the woman was or why she trusted him, but he knew this wasn't over. The next morning, Musa sat in his taxi, parked by a roadside tea stall. He sipped his tea as the city buzzed around him. He was exhausted, but a strange calm had settled over him. The radio crackled with breaking news. A major corruption scandal has rocked the city today, following the release of damning evidence from an anonymous source. Mayor Kamau has announced his resignation amidst allegations of embezzlement and ties to organized crime. Musa allowed himself a small, tired smile. But just as he leaned back, the radio continued. In related news, authorities are investigating a taxi driver suspected of aiding in the escape of an unidentified whistleblower. Stay tuned for updates. Musa's smile faded. His reflection in the rearview mirror stared back at him, just a man who got caught in something far bigger than himself. Even still, he wasn't going to allow anything steal this moment from him, for it was the first time in 7 years that he felt like more than just a driver. Few days later, not only did he feel more than just a driver, but his name and images were on the news and national newspapers, heaping praises for what good citizen he was. And of course, praises weren't the only thing he received. There were a lot of goodies too. Lovely viewers, whatever you find yourself doing, give it your all. And with one moment, just one moment, your life could be transformed.